Yes, guys, Jim Rat Pat back in the house with our second topic of the day, and that is Netflix. This week has turned 25 years old.
It's almost as old as me.
Still a young buck.
Yeah. Older than your kids, right? All your kids.
I'm only 29.
Yes, of course.
He's the old one.
Yeah.
Damien.
But yeah, so Netflix turns 20. Well, they've turned 25 this week, and
They've brought much joy to my life.
Yes.
They
and
have.
much pain as well.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, it's a double-edged sword with Netflix.
Yeah,
It
I
is.
mean, listen, Netflix has enjoyed being the market leaders for a long time. I mean, there was no other streaming service in sight for years.
Untouchable. They were like the Uber.
Right.
Yeah.
They were first.
They were
had a
first.
down pack.
Yeah, they were earning the dough,
Yeah.
and then everyone else came out with their streaming service.
Yeah.
And now at the point where Netflix are actually looking to not spend as much money as they used to. They've lost how many subscribers? Hundreds of thousands of subscribers, or million actually. Yeah. So actually it was a million. Yeah. So that's a lot of revenue. They're looking to cut the spending on their own content, making their own content, and obviously that also means licensing other content.
Yeah.
So I mean, the question is, what does the future look for Netflix, Leon?
Well, what did you say they started off as?
So we spoke off camera about this. I didn't know this. You guys obviously did. But they started off as a DVD delivery service.
Yeah.
Before being a streaming service. You pay a fee and then you order certain DVDs and you just return. You have a list of films you want to watch. They'll give you like 3 or 4, and then once you return one, you get another one on your list. And that's a pretty good system, actually. Yeah,
and the evolution, the way they kept up, like someone was on the ball because they saw where it was going and they made sure they were the first to do it.
Exactly.
How lazy a human being can they get? They can't go to Blockbusters. We made it to them. Right. They don't want to put it in a post box anymore. They stream it.
Yeah.
It's like you've gone from taking out in your pajamas and that's just sitting there and pressing the remote.
Yeah.
Because you go to Blockbusters in your pajamas back in the day, you'd be like, I'm fine.
Yeah. You go out there.
Or they just send the kids, which I was one of them.
I was one of those.
I was one of
Can we get popcorn, mum?
I was the one that took the TV back. Can't take this one on Friday.
Yeah.
Took it back in the box.
Wait, it's nearly 12 o'clock. just put in slippers and run down there.
I remember rewinding Blade like 50 times from Blockbuster first. I broke it down VHS.
Okay.
Yeah, man. So I mean, listen, they were market leaders for the longest time, but where do you see it? Where do you? I mean, they're not the market leaders anymore.
No,
and they are suffering right now.
They are suffering.
Where do you see Netflix in the next few years?
I see, if they've got any sense, they might actually just go into production or something.
Well, they already do. They make their own content.
But solely. I think like being a production company.
Okay, just making their own stuff.
Just
you mean?
Yeah, like Paramount, like.
Do you know what?
I think they got the infrastructure and the pull to do it.
You could be onto something there, because if you notice lately, the trailer reactions that we've done, they're doing now. Before, they never used to do anything cinematic. Now they're doing part cinematic.
Right.
And so you could be right.
Because I think they must listen. The game is up for them. Everyone else, like you are not going to compete with Disney, Apple, Amazon,
right? Those
listen, they are on their upward trajectory. Netflix had 25 years of it. Where was Amazon? 10 years ago? Was nowhere really.
I think they were just starting out then.
Starting out, like so. Disney didn't exist.
Nope.
Hulu didn't exist.
Nope.
All these HBO and whatever, nothing existed.
Nope.
But now they're coming up.
Yeah.
So. If Netflix are smart like they have been, they'll see what the next step is.
Yeah.
And, it might be big Hollywood blockbusters because they can make films.
Yeah.
They've obviously got the talent in there or whatever. Yeah. I'm sure there's no Kevin Feige in there, but that's what I would do.
Yeah.
That's what I would do.
Yeah.
And just like...
Makes sense.
So...
Damien, what do you think, man?
I mean, I definitely agree with what you're saying. The one thing I would add to that is the fact that Netflix have always been ahead of the curve. Like when they came out as a DVD postal service, it was basically trans Blockbuster. They did that, Blockbuster closed. Then they went to streaming first ones to do it, pioneered that, took off, other people caught up. Now what they're also doing, which we kind of touch on as well, is Netflix are starting to roll out the new subscriber service, which is where you pay less of a fee and you get advertisements.
Yeah.
They're going to start making money off of adverts.
Yes,
and
that's
what you're
true.
going to start getting
That's
as well
true.
is you're going to start getting companies go, yo, can you put my advert in front of Stranger Things season 6?
Yeah.
And look how much
Here's £10 million.
Here's 10 million.
Yeah.
And with that revenue, obviously they're going to have to pay some back, because before, when they bought the licensing for something, they didn't have to pay back to the actors and stuff. Actors will get a recoup off that, because when you start paying advertising fees, actors and producers will get some money.
Yeah, the residuals and stuff,
But Netflix will still make a bit of a bag on that.
Oh, yeah, of course.
And off the back of that, they can then put that into what Leon was saying about making more solid productions. Now, they've tried to this year. The Grey Man came out to mixed reviews. I haven't seen it
we
yet.
still need to see
I've
and review
seen
it.
What did you think?
Oh, yeah, you did, didn't you?
It was just good.
Yeah.
It was just good. I wasn't blown away. It was good acting. Everything was solid.
Yeah.
But it just, nothing to...
Right.
Oh, have you seen that film? It's not one of them.
Yeah.
It's just like, when you get a chance, give it a look.
Yeah.
But the thing is, even with the films that are not great, they're always number one on the watch list. Like the Kevin Hart one just came out. The reviews of it,
Meantime,
6%, but it's been number one.
And we need to
2 weeks.
watch that to review it as well.
It's like 6% everywhere, the reviews of it, but
I
it's been
watched
number one.
30 minutes of it and said, nah.
So it wasn't me time for Leon.
No.
I
had to take some me time.
Yeah.
Switch it off and go to sleep.
So,
that's pretty much it. I think Netflix, if they put the right things in place, which they've done before, they've got, I think, one more stab at it, because I think after the advertising thing and making your own production, where you go from there once Disney and HBO catch up with you, I think this is probably their last roll of the dice.
Yeah, I agree with you. I agree with both of you. The other thing that they are trying to do as well is, if you, obviously they're aware that people share passwords and stuff.
Yep.
So what they're trying to do is, if you want to add a family member or add a house, to, you can pay a little extra and then you can add. I don't think people are going to go for that, because they're still going to try and because the technology for them to catch people passing out their passwords isn't quite where they want it to be yet. So
I wouldn't know. No idea.
Exactly. But I agree with you. They're already onto the production part, as you said. And obviously with the adverts, they're going to make money off of that. My problem is that they may be too far gone for that to aid in them recouping a lot of money. Because what you've got to remember is, at any given point, Netflix are operating 15 billion in debt.
They're always in deficit.
Always 15 billion. That is not a small figure. 15 billion. And this is why, because of the loss of a million subscribers recently, they've had to reduce the money they spend on productions. And I think that's why they've gone the cinematic route, because they know that's the only real way to recoup a lot of money quite fast. So they have to do that now. I think you'll also find, as things go on, as you said, some movies will go to cinema first instead of being simultaneously,
and then come later,
and then come later to Netflix. I think that's what's going to happen. I actually think because the streaming wars have just begun, and I really, even with all what we said, I don't think they're equipped to fight the likes of Disney Plus and Apple and Amazon. They've got too much money.
Apple and Disney to start with,
and Amazon. Amazon is the second richest company, after Apple. So my thing is, I think in the next 10 to 20 years, some other studio is going to end up buying Netflix. That's what I think. That's what I honestly do think. It's just not a sustainable business model. And it was kind of sustainable when you had no other streaming service around, and now you've got a shed load. So
the only other thing they can do is, like, there's something that's been touched on. They can go the route where there's this idea of people being able to watch a show and then you pick as an audience where it goes. There's these creations being made right now where they're making so many different versions of the narrative. As an audience member, you can choose how you view the show. So it's like you think, right, actually, I want to see this happen in the show. And you choose that, and then it gives you a completely
like interactive sort of thing. Yeah,
gives you a completely different.
They did that with what's it? What was it? A Black Mirror. I don't know if you saw it. It had Will. What's his name? Is it Poulet?
Will Poulter.
Will Poulter.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, and he was in a Black Mirror.
Right.
And they were like, "Press, do you want him to jump out the window or do you
really?
not?"
Oh, okay.
Yeah, and then when he jumps out the window, it was something else.
Oh, okay.
And then you turn left and
Interesting.
some interactive. They touched on it. What's that? About 2 years ago.
Okay. Well.
Yeah.
I've seen Netflix doing that.
Yes.
Well, they are the mark. They have been innovators, so
They have.
you know what I mean.
I wouldn't put it past them to be able to survive it. Don't get me wrong.
Yeah, no,
I'm not.
and I
writing
want them
off.
to, and I want them to, because
Yeah.
competition is always good.
Yeah.
But yeah, 100%. But listen, guys, what do you think? Do you think the Netflix are gonna survive the streaming wars? And what do you think of them like surviving 25 years so far? Leave some comments down below and let us know what you think, please. Yeah.
I'm a survivor.